excuse me. Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto Gog, thus saith the Lord power, in that day when my people of Israel dwelleth safely, shalt thou not know it?
Right, because Gog, the Lord said, when you read this passage, the Lord said he's going to be sanctified in Gog. Meaning Russia is an instrument of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. The Lord going to give Russia that power. They're going to get back together and shoot missiles on not only America, but Israel too. So the Lord is using Gog, or the Russians, as an instrument. All right? And them Russians are all about war, man. They're a warlike people.
Yep.
A warlike nation.
If I may say this,
and they hate America.
That's right. If I may say this, now when you read Ezekiel 38, you got to keep in mind that some of this stuff happened back then with the Medes, but the majority of it is going to happen now.
That's right.
The majority of this chapter is going to happen now. There were certain things that took place back then, but the majority of it is going to take place right now.
That's right. That's right. Well, to back you up on that, Romans 15 and 4.
That's right.
Because we don't have time to go into the dual aspects of this prophecy.
That's right.
All right. And if you don't accept it, well, it ain't meant for you to accept it. All right. This truth is not given to everybody. All right.
It's only given to the elect.
It's only given to the elect. Another title for the elect was Men of Vision. All right. They had the vision because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua gave them the vision. Everything starts with a vision.
That's right.
First you have the idea conceived in your head, then you make it manifest, man. All right, and that's what the prophets received. They received what? Visions, right? So let's read Ezekiel 38:14 again.
Right. Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto Gog, thus saith the Lord power, in that day when my people of Israel dwelleth safely, shalt thou not know it? And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses, a great company and a mighty army.
And you notice it says in that day. So what day? It's talking about this day, right now. Right? And it says, and thou, read 15 again.
And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts.
Right, north, which is where Russia dwells, which is known as Gog. All right? They're known as, back then they were known as Gog, but today they're known as what? Russia. Right? Go on.
Thou and many people with thee.
Thou and many people with thee. They're going to have, the Russians are allies with who now? The Chinese? Iran, the Koreans.
Certain African nations.
What is it? North Korea. Right. Certain Libya.
Yep.
All right. That's the many people with thee. Go on.
All of them riding upon horses.
All right. The horses represent their tanks, weapons of war, weapons of warfare, missiles. Go on.
A great company and a mighty army.
Right, a great company and a mighty army. Go on.
And thou shalt come up against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be in the latter days.
Now that's the proof. That just proved what you just said. This prophecy is talking about now. What time period are we in now? We're in the latter days.
Yep.
All right? Go on.
And then when it says thou shalt come up against my people of Israel, that was back then. So you got to differentiate. Just like when you read Revelation, it's the same thing. It jumps back and forth.
That's right. And it's written that way because, like we said earlier at the top of the show, the Bible is a puzzle. It's a puzzle book. But you got to know how to put, just like in the puzzle, you got to know how to put the pieces together to see the whole picture. It's the same thing with the Bible. You got to know how to put the pieces together to see the whole picture. The scriptures say, rightly dividing the word of truth.
That's right.
All right? Go on.
It shall be in the latter days.
It shall be in the latter days, which is now. Go on.
And I will bring thee against my land, that the heathen may know me.
Like we said, the land of Israel is going to be blasted.
That's right.
All right? Go on.
When I shall be sanctified in thee, O Gog, before their eyes.
Right. Right. Go on.
Thus saith the Lord power, art thou he of whom I have spoken in old time by my servants the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years that I would bring thee against them?
And we're still prophesying that. To this day, we're still prophesying that the Lord is going to bring the Russians, and people scoff at that. Because they say, oh, the Russians are done away with. What are you guys talking about? No, the Lord is going to bring back Russia as a superior power, as a superpower, and Russia is going to come against America and Israel. Two of the biggest problems on the planet Earth.
Yeah, that was all propaganda anyway by the American media to say that Russia was no longer
They've always been
superpower.
right. We found that out. Even what's his name made that statement. What the hell is his name? Was it Medvedev? I think it might have been Medvedev, or
Putin.
No, not Putin, but the other guy. I can't.
Medvedev.
No, not Medvedev. Well, it could have been him, but it's another guy too.
Yeltsin.
Vladimir. It's another guy too. But anyway, he made a statement. He said he told the Russian people, "Don't believe the American propaganda that Russia is basically over with.
Right.
We're just letting them believe that shit."
Right.
Basically, that's the statement. If you post-production, you should see it. All right. But Russia is a superpower, right?
Always has been and always will
has
be
been.
until-
Right. And they're going to flex their muscle. They have to, because the Lord said, "I will be sanctified in thee, O God, before their eyes." So the Most High is dealing with Russia on a warrior type scale. All right. Go on.
And it shall come to pass at that same time when God shall come
Read
against
17
Okay,
again.
17. Thus saith the Lord power. Art thou he of whom I have spoken in old time by my servants the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years that I would bring thee against them?
Right, and we're still doing it now. All right. Go on.
And it shall come to pass at that same time when God shall come against the land of Israel, saith the Lord power,
See? God shall come against the land of Israel.
That's right,
Go on.
that my fury shall come up in my face.
Right. And the Lord's fury, the evidence of that is the nuclear missiles. That's the Lord's fury. Go on.
For in my jealousy and in the fire of my wrath have I spoken.
The fire of his wrath is those nuclear missiles. Go on.
Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel.
That's why you're going to have continual employment. And like I said, the first jobs of these other nations, in particular the white man, is going to be burying those bodies after the fury of the fire of the Lord's jealousy. All right? Go on.
So that the fishes of the sea and the fowls of the heaven and the beasts of the field and all creeping things that creep upon the earth and all men that are upon the face of the earth shall shake at my presence.
How are they going to shake? By those missiles. The missiles is the Lord's presence. Because the scripture have said the Lord is a consuming fire. The scripture say the Most High is a consuming fire. So the Most High himself is going to be in those missiles. All right? Go on.
And the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. And I will call.
Yeah, that Wailing Wall over there in Israel, where you see these heathens. You know they got demons on it, man. They hitting their head on that damn wall. Guess what? That wall is going to be flattened by those missiles.
laid out,
Laid out.
Jericho style.
Like I said, you know somebody got demons on them when you see them hitting the wall with their head like that.
Yeah, like
They got
Yakakaka.
Yeah, like, he
Rocking
might as
back
well
and
be.
forth.
Yeah, he might as well be hitting a so-called Wailing Wall.
Hey, you might as well just put on one of them so-called Jew outfits.
Exactly, because he ain't no different from the so-called Jew. All right, go on.
21. And I will call for a sword against him throughout all my mountains, saith the Lord power. Every man's sword shall be against his brother. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood.
That's those missiles, baby. Go on.
And I will rain upon him and upon his bands and upon the many people that are with him, an overflowing rain.
What's that overflowing rain? A rain of fire. That's those missiles. Go on.
And great hailstones, fire and brimstone.
Go on.
Thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know that I am the Lord.
Now the reason why I read that is to show you that Israel is going to be destroyed, that land. So that's why when you go to the next chapter, it speaks of continual employment.
Right.
And the word employment means slave or slavery. So is the white man going into slavery? Yes. Is the other nations going into slavery? Yes. Is that a benefit of the kingdom? You goddamn right it is. So does that link up with our lesson? Yes. Slavery and beatings. And we ain't just going to let them work. We're going to beat them while they're working.
That's right.
Just like they did to us. Right?
Yeah, and sometimes they'll beat us for no reason at all.
Exactly.
You'll find Jakes hanging on trees down south for no reason at all, just because they were black.
Just because they were black. That's the only reason. So you devils, you're gonna get it, man. You're gonna get that payback. Let's go to Psalm 137, 7 to 9.
Psalms chapter 137 verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundations thereof.
Right, that's going back in history. That's talking about 70 AD, when they brought the temple down, and that's also talking about during the Babylonian Empire. All right, that's different moments in history, because read 7 again.
Right. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof.
Right. Like I said, you had the Babylonian Empire. All right. During the Babylonian Empire, they destroyed our temple. All right. And it had to be rebuilt during the time of Cyrus, which was a Persian king. So the Babylonians, and that's why the Lord is, them so-called Babylonians, they're known as the Ethiopians today. That's why you see them in such a hellified state, because they're paying for what they did back in their past, when they were known as the Babylonians. They burnt our temple down.
Yeah, you crackers haven't paid yet.
Yeah, they're paying, but you so-called white men haven't paid yet. Now, fast forward, go to 70 AD, it's the same thing again. The so-called white man burnt down our temples during 70 AD. Titus, Vespasian Caesar, Titus Caesar, Domitian Caesar, those three characters. All right.
Yeah, when you go back to the Greek Empire, Antiochus Epiphanes destroyed the temple back then.
That's right. So they were always destroying our temples. All right. Matter of fact, Antiochus Epiphanes, in the history, he sacrificed pork on the altars of the temple. That's why the Lord had him die such a violent death. All right, and you can find out about that in the book of the Apocrypha, in the book of Maccabees. Even though that devil tried to repent, boy, he tried to send up them prayers and try to get the Most High on his good side. The Most High wasn't hearing him, and that's you so-called white people, man. With Antiochus Epiphanes, he was a so-called white man. All right, go on.
Oh, daughter
read
of
7 again.
Okay. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. Right.
So you can put, like I said, it talks about the Babylonian Empire here, but it also talks, speaking about the so-called white man, in particular 70 AD, when they brought us down. Raise it, burn our temple down. Right? Go on.
O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed.
Right. O daughter of Babylon. Who's the daughter of Babylon? Esau, you so-called white people. That's why it says daughter of Babylon. It ain't talking about actual Babylon. All right? Go on.
Happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us.
And we're going to be happy. And we're going to reward you as what you've done to us. That's called payback. All right? That's called retribution. All right?
And that's one of the benefits of the kingdom.
That's one of the benefits. And it says we're going to be happy. We're not going to do it grudgingly. Oh, I got to do this. I got to beat this cracker down. No, we're going to enjoy it. Just like that lion enjoys leaping in the air, about to serve his prey. That's how we're going to be. All right, go on.
Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones.
Recorded in history, we used to do that to our children. So we're going to do the same thing to you.
That's right.
All right, now let's go from there to Psalm 149, because your elites are going to be the first crop of slaves that we're going to have. All right, Psalm 149, 5-9.
Psalms chapter 149, verse 5. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand.
Right, and that's literal. All right, go on.
To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people.
And that's one of the benefits of being in the kingdom. To execute vengeance upon the heathen. Payback for what they did to us. And punishments upon the people. Go on.
To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron.
Right, to bind their kings. Who are their kings now? The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the top international banking families. They're going to be the first, and pursuant to Matthew 20:16, I think it is, it says the last shall be first and the first shall be last. They're the first in this kingdom, so they're going to be last. All right? But they're going to be the first crop of slaves. All right, go on.
To execute vengeance upon them. I'm sorry.
8, yeah. 8. Read 8 again.
Verse 8. To bind their kings with chains.
So we're going to bind their kings with chains. We're going to put literal chains on these, because these banking families, they're going to make it through the destruction.
Right.
they're going to be delivered.
They're going to be over in Europe.
Right, they're going to be over in Europe. Some of them are going to be out of space.
Yeah.
Some of them are going to be underground.
South America.